Hey guys, welcome back to the DC show.
After today's news, it looks like we might get a recasting in the MCU.
Stick around. All right, guys, so we just got the verdict, and turns out Jonathan Majors is being convicted on 2 of the 4 charges.
Yep. He was found guilty by a jury of 6 in New York of harassment and assault.
Yeah.
So looks like he will not be probably playing Kang anytime in the near future. So Marvel's likely going to have to recast or pivot to another direction, maybe with Doctor Doom or something for Secret Wars.
Yeah, we've kind of made a point to not really get too deep into the Jonathan Majors stuff.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I'm not sure what kind of experience any of you guys have with the legal system. We're definitely not lawyers. I have served as a juror on about 6 cases, so I've had a lot of experience in that regard. And one thing they tell you right away is, unless you're there in that courtroom watching the trial, getting the laws defined to you by the judge, which they're very clear of what the actual laws are that they're being charged with. Mm-hmm. You just really don't know. You don't know, again, unless you're a lawyer, you don't know the definition of the laws and the evidence that's being presented. So clearly there was enough evidence for 2 of those 4 charges for the jury to find that he, without reasonable doubt, was guilty. Yep. So it is a bummer. We both really like Jonathan Majors. He's an amazing actor.
He had a lot of potential for the character of Kang, and the way they were going with it all, he was going to have a huge role going forward in the MCU, and now they're going to have to figure it out one way or another. I'm sure they already had plans in mind once he was arrested.
Yeah, I think Disney handled this correctly. They kind of stood back, waited for things to play out. They didn't make any rash decisions. They didn't immediately fire him or immediately start promoting, his future in the MCU. Yep. And that's the right thing to do, let the things play out. But I mean, going forward now, Disney is it's a family geared, business. And realistically, I know there's gonna be some pushback from people because there's a lot of support for Jonathan Majors. There's a lot of people, especially in the YouTube community, a lot of people saying, hey, he's for sure not guilty, and
and even if he was guilty or is guilty, obviously he was found guilty, regardless of what our opinions are, she likely is guilty of some of it too, but she wasn't the one on trial. So nothing's held against her, even if she was at fault for some of it too.
Not yet. So I do believe there's some sort of either a law or a statute in New York that charges can't be brought against her until the kind of competing trial is wrapped up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some charges coming forward against Grace Jabari in the near future.
I'm sure he can appeal the decision probably as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm not sure much about the appeals process.
Either way, I don't think his career is going anywhere anytime soon as far as movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming forward with some negative things to say about Jonathan Majors and his, attitude on the set of movies. A lot of people that were unwilling to work with him.
He was dropped by his talent agency. He was probably going to be dropped even before everything happened.
Yeah, that's a rumor I had heard also, is that they were planning on dropping him anyways, his management company, regardless of these charges against him. Just due to his just behavior on movie sets and people's unwillingness to work with him. Never saying that he was violent. Just to be clear, it was never like, hey, he hurt anyone or
just
anything.
Aggressive and kind of
intimidating.
He's a big character.
Yeah. So I guess he gets pretty, not necessarily like a method actor where he stays in character the entire time, but
maybe a little bit.
Yeah. And I think when he's some of these roles, he's training as a bodybuilder, he's training as a boxer. He's done some pretty intense roles. Kang is pretty crazy. He's got different aspects of Kang he's been playing. So yeah, it's I could see it being intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, kind of sucks. I'm glad if he's legit did something wrong, then justice sounds like it might be served, and he will be sentenced, it said, on February 6th. So we'll find out what happens with that, and then the whole appeals process, if there is any, and then what's going on with Jabari and Grace Jabari, I think her name is.
Yeah, Grace Jabari.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I know one of the charges I had heard early on had a minimum year jail time, but I'm not sure which charge that was. There was 2 assault charges and 2 harassment charges, I believe, and he was cleared of 1 assault and 1 harassment. And then
it said it was assault in this third degree he was
That was
guilty of.
the one who's guilty of, yeah.
I think it
And
was
then
in the
harassment.
second degree, maybe, that he was found innocent. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Either way, if you've seen the video, he does kind of, forcefully put her back into the vehicle. But she does chase after him. So I don't know. It's still kind of wishy-washy for me, but I'm not part of the jury and I'm not the judge. So
Yeah, well, and the big takeaway from that is, I mean, if he assaulted her, regardless of her chasing him or whatever, her actions don't dictate whether or not he did assault or harass her.
Sure.
I mean, you can be treated horribly, and then if that person reacts and does something rash, like hit you or whatever, then that doesn't change the fact that they hit you.
Sure.
I mean, we're all human, right? So emotions run high. It sounds like this was a very serious relationship they were in. They were both pretty heated, it seems like. Grace Jabari appears to have some sort of substance abuse issues, potentially alcohol and sleeping pills and stuff. So who knows, man? But what it comes down to is the jury heard all the evidence and they decided that 2 of these charges he was guilty of. So yeah, it looks like Marvel's got to do something going forward.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see in the next few months how that all plays out and what they decide to do going forward, because I would imagine the next project that would have had Kang involved in would maybe possibly be Deadpool, if it's multiversal.
It could.
I'm guessing they would reshoot that now and probably take him out of it if he was in it.
I wouldn't expect that we'd see Kang. There could have been references to him, and maybe there still will be. It seems like there will be some TVA involvement, and it looks like the TVA's kind of new task is really just to take care of Kang variants.
Yeah, but they'll do their job and they'll get rid of
Yeah,
all
I
of them.
mean that's I think they intentionally set up Loki that way to where they can transition either away from Kang or stick with him depending on what happened with the Jonathan Majors case. And
There's a lot of good actors out there, so I'm sure they could recast him, although I'm sure they would get some blowback because a lot of people, again, like Jonathan Majors in that role. But, you got to do what you got to do, and unfortunately, he will not be playing Kang going forward, in my opinion.
There are rumors that he had written to his contract that no one can play a character.
He may have violated his contract.
For sure. Yeah, that's, again, we don't know if that's even true, and if it is true, maybe there's some clauses that, hey, he violated his contract by not upholding his side of it, Who knows, man? But yeah, I think we're either going to get a recasting or we're going to get a transition to either Doom or someone like that going forward. So, all right, guys. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts on the verdict, and let us know how you think the MCU should transition going forward.
All right, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and have a marvelous day. Whatever.
All right, I'll do the welcome back to the DC show then. Yeah. DC show.
DC show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the DC show.
Looks like we're getting an official. No, I can't say official. I don't know. Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
Probably not. I mean, they will announce an official recasting if the route they go, or they may. We talked about this before, and we don't need to get into too much, but they may transition to Doom instead, or like,
sure,
you know what I mean. So they might not recast, but
yeah.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the DC show.
I wasn't ready. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, what are your thoughts on the whole trial and his let's do that again.
Okay.
You can do it.
Okay. All right, guys. So go ahead and let us. Nope. I can't do it either. You do it.
All right.
All
right, guys.
Okay.
All right, your turn.
Okay, I got this.